Good morning, guys. Welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new here. I just woke up inspired to vlog for you guys, so I picked up the camera and here I am. So today's video is not going to be like a typical vlog of mine where I take you through every aspect of my life. I'm thinking more of like a vloggy, full day of eats, full day of movement in my weight loss phase. So I posted a full what I eat in a day maybe a couple weeks ago. But I've gotten some more requests for more videos like in this style, so I thought it could be fun to do today, where I share not only the food that I'm eating in the day to lose weight, but also all of my movement. So that is my idea for the video. I also just weighed in the lowest number I've seen in over a month, so I'm feeling really good at the moment with my progress, and I kind of feel like I finally have it figured out on what to do. So I'll be sharing, my tips and what I've kind of changed recently throughout this video. And I also might put like a FAQ box on my TikTok or Instagram or something throughout the day so that I get a few questions about this, if I do get questions about this, and then I'll put the answers in this video as well. So it'll be a little bit of like vlog, a little bit of FAQ, full day of eats, full day of movement. So that is the plan. It's currently Friday morning and I'm getting ready to go to the gym. I have personal training. So I also thought that throughout this video I could kind of talk a little bit more in depth about like what I do for exercise, because I don't really talk about it that much in depth. So I go to the gym like 5 days a week usually, sometimes more, sometimes less, but through those 5 days I usually do 3 personal training sessions and 2 workout classes, usually 1 bar class and 1 Pilates class, and then sometimes it'll be 2 personal training sessions and 3 of the workout classes. This week it was 3 personal training sessions, the 2 classes, my typical, and it's Friday morning, like I said, so I have a personal training. We've been recently doing for about like a month, maybe month and a half, 2 months now. We do very, it's almost like HIIT, like high intensity interval training. I don't know if it's that like HIIT, like it's maybe a little less than HIIT, but it's pretty intense cardio based. It's kind of like cardio circuity where we do multiple moves. We really get my heart rate up. Like on my Apple Watch, my heart rate gets into like zone 5 and it pretty much stays like mostly in like zone 3, zone 4, zone 5. And it's a really intense workout, and we switched to that because I told him my goal of leaning out a little bit, and he kind of suggested this for, fat loss. And I've been really liking it. It makes me feel like an athlete. It makes me feel strong. It makes me feel athletic. Like, I don't know, it just makes me feel really good. And I kind of have a history of being an athlete. Like, I was a track athlete, so I kind of like the challenge. And then almost every time I go to the gym, I will do some sort of cardio. Walk on the treadmill or the Stairmaster. I've been loving the Stairmaster recently. So today I think I'm going to do the treadmill because I like to combine the cardio circuit that I do with him with more of just like a casual walk, so that's not like too much heart rate spike and like stress on my body. And then when I do the calmer Pilates and bar classes, I do the Stairmaster so that I can get like a nice sweat each time. And then I will get into it throughout this video, but of course all day long I'm trying to be very active and get lots of steps. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all I have to say for now. I'm going to get myself dressed and then we will go to the gym. It is 6:50. My personal training is at 8, so I'm pretty much just going to get out of here as soon as I can. And I will also speak to you guys when I'm doing like my pre-workout snack and all the little things I do before going to the gym, my supplements. Oh, one thing is, the first thing I've put in my mouth this morning is these, okay, no, not these sleep ones. Hopefully not these sleep ones. I think I did the Lemmy Debloat, the right ones, but these are Debloat gummies from Lemmy. I really like them. I actually stopped taking them for a few days and I noticed a difference in my digestion, so then I started taking them again. So I really like these, and honestly for a while I wasn't tracking like my little gummies and things like this in my calories and my macros, but they actually add up. Like these are 15 calories, these are 20 calories, and I take both. So now I add them throughout my day just because I try not to ignore things like that, even the littlest things, like they do add up. Like if I do all my little supplements and things that I previously wasn't tracking, they come to 75 calories, which is pretty significant. So that's one little thing.
Okay, wow, you guys, I feel like this morning light is incredible. But recently I have found that it is super important for me to have something in my stomach before I go to the gym. Because like I said, I do a workout of some sort and then I do cardio, and I just can't do that on an empty stomach for that long. My go-to is a rice cake with peanut butter. Sometimes I do powdered peanut butter. Today I'm in the mood for this. I'm gonna do 10 grams of real peanut butter in a caramel rice cake, and I measure it out so that I know everything is right. There was also a point in this weight loss phase where I was getting a weird feeling after I ate, after working out, and I think it's because I was fueling myself like improperly, not having enough carbs before my workout, not having enough carbs after. So I like a quick carb like this. I feel like it really helps me and like doesn't deplete all my energy. Helps me not deplete all my energy in my workout. Okay, here's what she looks like. Okay, next I do a fiber supplement and electrolytes every single day. I do it in like my first big thing of water. I sip on like a little of what's left from last night when I first wake up, because I've also been trying to chug water when I first wake up because your body's always dehydrated. But then I dump this out, refill it, and put these in. These are what I was talking about with my daily supplements adding up to 75 calories around, because both of these, like this is like 10 calories or 5 calories, and that one is 20 calories, and I just wouldn't count them in my day. But if you have enough little things that are that low of calories, they do add up. So now I do put that stuff in my tracker just to be more accurate, you know, because a calorie deficit only works if you're being honest with yourself and you're actually being in a calorie deficit. I feel like I learned that the hard way last month. If you want more detail on that, I just posted a weight loss update on my TikTok, so I talk about it in there. Yum. And then my last morning thing. A little Celsius. I have been on an energy drink like crazy the past 2 weeks. They just give me such good energy. Like I feel like it's kind of like a pre-workout vibe. I've never taken pre-workout. This just really like gives me a pep in my step. I really like it. I like the taste. It's like a fun way to start my day. I always make sure to start it after I have something in my stomach. I just feel like that's better for you, and after I've had a little bit of water. But I will drink this, just on the way to the gym throughout my first cardio session if I'm doing the cardio before the workout. Today cardio will be after, so I'll just drink this on the way to the gym. Yum. I like this flavor as well. Okay, and that is everything I do right now. We can go to the gym.
Hello guys, I'm actually starving, so I'm gonna make this quick. But I gotta do my skincare before I make breakfast, otherwise I feel like I won't do it. So I just got back from the gym, clearly, and I showered, and I'm gonna tell you guys kind of what I did. So for my personal training, like I said, we do kind of like cardio circuits. So the first circuit that I did was the ski machine, which is like that one, to get my heart rate up, and then we did pull-ups, and then we did kettlebell walking lunges 3 times through, and the next circuit was sled pushes, like an ab workout, a core workout, where I had a medicine ball in my hands and I did leg lifts and then push-ups. And then the third circuit was a shorter like glute focused circuit. We did when you squat and you have the band around your legs and you do like side walks, did that with some glute kickbacks on the cable machine. And that was the workout. It was really good. It was really hard and challenging, sweaty, got my heart rate up, all the good stuff. And then after that, I walked on the treadmill for a full hour. It was nothing crazy. I think I did like 3 speed to like 3.7 the entire time. And I got a good bit of steps. I think I'm at like maybe exactly 10,000 right now. 10,415. So that is a great place to be. for my steps. I aim for these days 15,000 to 20,000 steps a day. 20,000 I think was just like a little too much, shooting for that every day. And sometimes I do make it, but sometimes I don't now. I feel like my average is more like 16 to 18, which is like a really good sweet spot for me. But to be honest, I find it really easy to get a lot of steps because I work from home for myself. And I go to the gym. So when I go to the gym, I usually get anywhere from like 7,000 to 10,000 steps just from the gym. And then I have a walking pad at home. So I just hop on the walking pad whenever I am doing work on my phone. Not whenever, but a lot of times when I'm doing work on my phone, instead of just sitting down, I hop on the walking pad. I'm sure I will do that at some point today and kind of show you guys. And it's just like 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and it really adds up. So I find it to be pretty easy. I'm also starting to want to walk outside again more, that it's warming up. We've had some like 50-degree days here in Boston, and it reminds me how much I love to walk in the summer, because in the winter, in the dead of winter here, I was like, yuck to outdoor walking. So 10,400 steps, we'll see where I get with that for the rest of the day. And then, yeah, my workout was really good, and I felt really strong today. And it was just good. So I also put up a FAQ box on my Instagram for the FAQ that I'm going to film a little bit later in this video. And I've already gotten a good amount of questions, so I'm really excited for that. And now we're going to go make breakfast. I've been loving doing a big breakfast, like around 500 calories, with a lot of carbs, a lot of protein, fat, fiber, all the good things, hitting all the nutrients to keep me full and set me up for success for the day. Like I feel like I have found that if I have a good big breakfast, I can be full for 5 hours. So that is what we're gonna try to do today. I'm gonna fix my hair and then we'll go to the kitchen. Okay, so for the oats, I'm gonna walk you through everything that I use. I've been perfecting these all week. I'm starting with this instant oatmeal packet. I really like this. It cooks up quick, and I find that like the egg whites and the oats take a similar time when I use instant oatmeal. And I also like that this has extra stuff. It has quinoa, amaranth, flax seeds, and chia seeds. I mix this into the oatmeal when it's cooked. I put this on top, and this is just like some basic little flavoring: maple extract, vanilla extract, cinnamon, and a pinch of salt. Then I cook up the oats with egg whites and milk at first in the microwave. And then I put yogurt on at the end for extra protein, Greek yogurt, some blackberries for fiber, fruit, color, all that good stuff, and sugar-free syrup. I'm not going to walk you guys through the exact recipe, but I've posted multiple times on TikTok. I have a photo little slideshow series of how I make it, my collar, and I have a video as well. And I think I've also done it in previous vlogs, like the 1 or 2 vlogs before this. So I don't want to walk you guys through it because I'm starving, but pretty much the only thing you need to know is the oats, egg whites, and milk. Microwave in like 30-second intervals until you get your desired texture, stirring in between each one, and then you can top however you like. Okay, here is the finished oatmeal bowl. I am so excited to eat this. I'll put a screenshot of this on the screen, but the total is 514 calories. And then we have 40 grams of protein, 16 grams of fat, 52.7 grams of carbs, and then 11.8 grams of fiber. Okay, it's time for the FAQ portion of this video. I compiled all the questions I got, and if I get more throughout the day, I could do another one later. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and do it because I feel like I have a bunch of questions that are covering like a lot of the topics. So I think that I'll start out with the category of figuring out your calorie deficit and your macros for weight loss. The first thing I did is pretty much what everyone does. Like I went to one of those TDEE calculators online. Like you can literally look up, that's what I would look up, TDEE calculator, do one of the first couple of options, and then you put in your information, your height, your weight. I think that's pretty much it. And then they do always ask you for your level of exercise. And someone actually asked, how do you figure out light or moderate exercise? Actually, you know what? Let me pull it up. Okay, so the options for exercise are sedentary, and it says office job, light exercise 1 to 2 days a week, moderate exercise 3 to 5 times or 3 to 5 days a week, heavy exercise 6 to 7 days a week, athlete 2 times per day. So I definitely know that I am not an athlete or sedentary, and I don't think I'm light exercise. I always calculate it with moderate exercise because I walk a lot. I walk over 15,000 steps a day, and I go to the gym 5 days a week, and I
work out pretty hard in my workouts. So that to me is moderate. I honestly feel like I could be a little bit above moderate, but I do moderate because you'd rather underestimate your exercise than overestimate your exercise, because if you're overestimating your exercise, then that could make you very easily not be in a calorie deficit. So I would say just like do the one you feel like you are, or the one below it. Like if you think that you're like, oh, I don't know, do the lighter one. So I go with moderate and it feels about right for me. And then on this particular one, it's telling me that my maintenance calories are 2,032 a day. So let's say my maintenance calories are 2,000. And then on the website that I'm using, which is literally tdeecalculator.net, it says that my cutting calories would be 1,532 calories. I think that that is too low. Personally, I don't really want to be eating 1,500 calories, and I don't want to be losing weight at that number and then be stuck eating that amount. And I've also seen a lot of professionals online say to look at your maintenance calories and then subtract 200 to 500. So if my maintenance calories are 2,000, I subtracted 300 and I got to 1,700 calories. That is what I've been going on since January 1st, which is when I started this. So I chose 300 below maintenance. People recommend 200 to 500. 300 just felt right to me. I've also experimented a little bit with, going a little over that, going a little under that. And I do think that 1,700 feels right. So that is how I initially figured out my calories. And I think that if you are trying to do this, that is what you should do. That should be your first step. And then you should implement those calories for 2 weeks and be honest with yourself and see what's happening. If nothing is happening, nothing is moving, then you might want to lower those calories. But I think it's kind of just a guess and check method. Like you just have to kind of go with a calorie number that feels right and then see what happens. I also think that if you are so starving, constantly thinking about food, you can't fall asleep at night, you're shaky, you're low energy, whatever it is, like you have to take a nap in the afternoon, then maybe the calories that you figured out online are too low and you should raise them. But again, I think it's guess and check. You kind of have to just start somewhere and adjust as needed based on the results you get. Okay, and then the next part of these questions are about macros. Like, am I tracking macros? Have I always tracked macros? How did I figure out macros? And I am definitely more so focused on the calories than the macros. And I don't exactly know if my macros are correct for my body. Like, I don't know. I don't really know too much about macros. I have been focusing on protein for probably like 2 to 3 years now. So I definitely know about high protein foods, hitting my protein goal, like that. That I have down. I feel like I'm way more educated, I guess, or know more about protein. I don't really know as much about like the carbs and the fats, but recently I have been trying to hit specific numbers. For me, I do think I like a rather high carb diet because of all of my working out. I think I need the carbs and the energy to fuel that. Like for a week during this whole 2-month journey, I don't think I was eating enough carbs, and I think I was getting these like stomach aches and feeling nauseous and like sick and lightheaded. And then once I increased my carbs, that all went away. So I'm definitely focusing on like evening out the macros. I at one point was doing like so much protein. I don't think that's necessary either. I think I can just stick to 120 to 130 grams of protein. I don't need to be going to the 150s. And I should be using my calories to hit the other macros. So I try to get my fats like in the 45 to 50 range. I try to get my carbs high 100s, 200 range, and then protein, like I said, 120 to 130 grams. I also really like to hit my fiber above 30 grams is what I aim for. It helps to keep things moving, it helps your digestion, and it helps keep you full and satisfied all day long. So I guess that is kind of the macro questions. Have I always tracked macros? No, it's honestly very new for me. And then how did I find my macros to stick to? I didn't. I'm kind of just like seeing how my body responds to different numbers of each. And like I said, those numbers I just went through have been making me feel really good. So I'm gonna stick with them for now. Okay, the next category of questions is kind of like my plan, like my future plan, how long I'm gonna be doing this, like switching to maintenance, that kind of thing. So the first question is, how long are you doing a calorie deficit? How much pounds are you trying to lose? So I don't have an answer to that. Like, it's not like I set out and said I'm gonna do a 3-month calorie deficit. So I don't have a solid answer. I kind of just wanna do this until I'm happy where I am, and I'm pretty happy where I am, so I don't think I'll be doing it for like too much longer. But I went into this in the TikTok video I posted. I pretty much think that February was a wash for me. Like, I don't think I was in a calorie deficit. I didn't really lose any weight, so like I think I was in a calorie deficit in January, kind of maintenance in February, and now I'm gonna do like a full another month in March, and maybe we'll reassess then. But yeah, I don't really have an idea. It's just kind of like till I'm happy. And it's the same thing with how much weight do I wanna lose. I do not have a specific number in mind. I weighed in this morning actually at 126, which is the lowest weight I've had this whole journey. It's not my lowest, but like 126 I've had like 4 times, and I haven't seen a number that low since January, so I'm very happy. Like, I'm finally feeling like I'm getting back on track, and I think that I'll see like 125 relatively soon. I think I also kind of have to adjust my perception of the number on the scale because I think I've gained muscle. So like the 120 that I used to be like maybe a couple months ago or a year ago, like would look physically different on me than 120 would now. And same with like 125. Like I think when I reach 125, I'll look very different than when I was at 125. So I don't really have a number in mind anymore. Like I really like the way that I look currently at 127, and I did not like the way I looked at 127 like a year ago. And I think that's just like a different composition of my body. So I don't know the number. Again, I'm just gonna kind of like suss it out. And like when there's a number that I like the look in the mirror of and I feel great in, and I'm like, yeah, that's good, that's gonna be the number. So there is no number. When do I plan to switch from deficit to maintenance? Kind of the same thing. I'm just gonna kind of feel it out. There is no exact day that I'm gonna do it. There's no number goal. There's just exactly what I've said previously. How do you plan to maintain post reaching your goal? Now, I think that this is a good question, and I actually, like, I've been thinking a lot about that, and I feel like I've learned a lot throughout this journey and through tracking macros and calories and protein and all that this time around. I've learned that I really like it. I do not find it to be too restrictive or like limiting or anything like that. I find it to be really educational, and it just helps me know how much food I should be eating. And to me, that is not restrictive. To me, that's like, oh, I look at this, I have 1,700 calories. That means I can eat 3 500 calorie balanced meals and a 200 calorie snack. I like having that information, and I like knowing that like if I've hit those calories, like I'm done for the day. Unless I'm starving, then of course like I would eat, but like I like knowing that there is a number that once you overeat, you're overeating. Your body does not need that. That is just like additional food. But back to the question of how do I plan to maintain? I think that I will probably track a little bit like post deficit and like raise my calories up to a maintenance level calorie and still track that. Like I said, I find tracking to be really helpful. And also throughout this weight loss journey, like the past couple months, I've been trying to kind of shift my mindset around how I eat and like how I view food and all of that. So I'm definitely going to take those things with me. So for example, in the past, I used to just like be really good on the weekdays, and then on the weekends I would eat absolutely whatever I wanted, not worry about it, just overeat, like eat all the sweets, all the treats, kind of feel disgusting. And through this last couple of weeks, I've been trying to really like kind of be even keeled throughout the entire week. So not overdo it on the weekends, still feel great on the weekends. And I've honestly been loving that. So I definitely plan to bring that into the future. Like I do not plan to, once this deficit is over, to just be like, oh, hey, now I can eat whatever I want on the weekends again. I can stuff my face at dinner. Like I do not want to do that. I want to kind of continue with this mindset of eating for what I need. And I do think that that is how this becomes a lifelong thing rather than a phase, like a lifelong, like a lifestyle of being a healthy, fit, active person. And more tangible things like that I'm going to bring with me is like, I haven't really been snacking much. Like I want to bring that with me in the future. I do not want to be snacking on little chips and goldfish and whatever little sweet treats if I don't feel like I need it. I want to instead focus on the same 3 well-balanced meals, except maybe when I'm in maintenance, they're a little bit higher calorie. Or when I'm in maintenance, I can also have a dessert, things like that. And another thing that I've been doing in this deficit that has really helped me is very much listening to my hunger cues and waiting till I'm hungry, like significantly hungry for a meal to eat my meal. So like I'm going to bring that with me. I'm going to try to listen to my body and like, I don't know, do all the things that I'm doing now, but just at a slightly higher calorie level. Like that is what I'm planning to do. So things like that, like the hunger cues, no snacking, like little things that I've noticed that I'm doing in this phase, I want to keep with me. And another thing of that is like, I have realized that I definitely eat out way too much. So I'm trying to work on limiting that a little bit and hopefully like bring that with me in the future as well. Like I honestly feel like very fit people, they don't eat out that much. Like I'm not saying never, but not as much as I did. Like I'm talking like every meal on the weekend was out. Like I don't really want to do that, and I don't think like the best like version of myself, like the fittest version of myself would be doing that. Do you know what I mean? Okay, moving on to a different category. Someone asked about my current workout split. I'm not going to go into this here because I went into that earlier this morning. So that is my current workout split. And then this question is about kind of handling staying full and cravings and all that good stuff in a calorie deficit. So the first question is, what do you do if you hit your calorie max very early in the day? Okay, you guys, I'm shifting a little bit lower because I was sitting on my feet and they're falling asleep, so don't mind me. So that doesn't happen to me. I do not run out of calories early in the day because I plan out my day every single day the night before. I plan out my meals, I plan out my snacks, I plan out my supplements, I plan out my coffee, I plan out my energy drink, I plan out every little thing. So I know what I'm gonna eat, pretty much when I'm gonna eat it. And yeah, I just plan ahead so that I'm not hungry at the end of the day. I also go to bed very early. So usually if I have dinner at like 5 or 6, I'm going to sleep within like the next 2 hours. So I don't really get that much time to get hungry again. And if I did get hungry again, like I would plan in a little 100-calorie dessert snack at night, you know? And I prefer to be hungrier during the day. That's another thing, like hunger is going to exist in this process, especially if you're out of your routine and like you have a late dinner or something and you don't have that many calories left and you're waiting for dinner, blah, 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 whatever. Like hunger is a thing. But what I like to do is kind of let myself get hungrier during the day because I find that to be more manageable than at night. Like I don't want to go to bed hungry. So I let myself get pretty hungry before I eat lunch and before I eat dinner. So that is like spacing out my meals and it'll hold me over like later into the day, into the night, because again, I don't want to go to sleep hungry. Another part of this that is very helpful is just making sure you're hitting enough protein, fiber, fat, carbs, hitting all the nutrients so that your meals satisfy you. I've also shifted to eating more whole, real foods recently rather than like the more like diet foods, processed, high volume, like foods like that. And I find that those foods do help me keep fuller. So that's a little tip. And then how do I handle the hunger and craving for sweets? To be honest, like I do not have really crazy cravings for sweets. And if I do, I'll either eat a sweet or I'll eat like, you know, a healthier version of a sweet. Like I have a sweet yogurt bowl or a sweet oatmeal bowl for breakfast or a piece of chocolate. But I don't know, cravings are not something I really deal with, so I can't really speak to that much. I got a question about how tall I am multiple times. So I am like 5'3", 5'4". What does my weight fluctuations look like? So I feel like I kind of talked about that, either maybe not in this video, but in the TikTok I just posted. So the highest weight I saw in January was 130 and the lowest weight I've seen is 126. So it's just been fluctuating in between there ever since. And the most fluctuations I see throughout the week, I weigh myself almost every single morning. And throughout the week, like most likely on Monday morning, I will be the heaviest of the week because I just experienced the weekend. And then by Friday morning, I will be the lowest because I had 5 good days of working out, 5 good days of eating, 5 good days of being in routine. I don't really eat out on the weekdays. I do on the weekends. So just the weekends, like I'm, you know, more bloated. I have more water weight, things like that. So Monday morning is usually my heaviest. And then it typically gradually decreases throughout the week. And that's another thing like about this journey that I've been liking. Like I've been trying to stick to my goals and like kind of eat more like I do on the weekdays during the weekends because I don't really love how it's so high on Monday and so low on Friday. I'd rather be more even throughout the week. So that is another reason why I've been trying to be better on the weekends and just kind of make my life more, you know, balanced, not as much really good week, bad weekend, more like pretty good all throughout. That is also just like way better for my mindset because it can be very discouraging when you always see a higher weight on Monday and then you feel like you have to put in so much work that week to get back where you were the Friday before. So I just feel like really setting your mind to keeping your goals on the weekend, while it's very hard to do, like much harder to do because there's so much more like temptation with like socializing and going out with friends and all that stuff. I feel like it's really helpful and it makes me feel really good and motivated when that number is not spiking on Monday as much. Would you say it's more what you eat than working out that gives more results? Absolutely. I think it is almost like 90, 100% diet. Of course, I do think things like steps are very important and they're really helpful in weight loss, just like increasing your overall activity. But it's all about eating. At least for me, I find the working out and the walking part to be easy. For me, it's the eating. And when I'm locking in that category, that is when I notice the most results. Okay, this question is about mindset. It says, I'm struggling with being patient with the results. Do you have any advice on mindset? So I can definitely relate to this because like I said, February was very difficult. I was feeling discouraged because I wasn't seeing any progress. But I know that if I am doing all the right things, if I am eating in a calorie deficit and not just lying to myself, if I'm actually doing it, if I'm getting my steps, if I'm getting good sleep, if I'm doing all the things, like eventually I will see the number go down. So it's just kind of that, like you're either doing it or you're not. And if you're doing it, you have to just stay positive and keep doing it because eventually it's bound to happen. It has to happen. Like it's calories in versus calories out. So if you are doing it, it will happen. The other side of that is you have to be very honest with yourself and say, am I sticking to my deficit on the weekends? Is what I'm doing on the weekends like just canceling out everything I do on the weekdays? Am I actually getting my steps? Am I tracking every little thing that I'm eating? Like I said earlier this morning, when I wasn't tracking those 75 calories of supplements and things, if your deficit is 300 calories below your maintenance and you're eating 75 calories worth of gummies and like energy drinks, like that is a third of what your deficit is that you're not actually hitting if you're not tracking those. Do you know what I mean? So you just have to be very honest with yourself. And I think that if you know you're doing everything right, you just have to keep going because eventually the number will fall. Also, it's very different for like women. I don't know, I'm not like super knowledgeable on this, but because of our bodies, they're just so like they fluctuate like crazy. They're very temperamental. Like you just have to stick with it. You can have a whole month of no progress, and then eventually like the scale will drop 2 pounds in a day. And I actually lost weight previously like 2 years ago. So I think that kind of helps me because I do know that like I would stick at the same number for a month and then it would drop 2 pounds. And then you keep going, and then sometimes it takes 3 months for another pound, especially if you don't have that much weight to lose. But I think that if you know you're doing the right thing, you just have to keep on doing it. Okay, best advice for still living eating out in a deficit. So I love eating out. I love going to restaurants. It's honestly my favorite hobby, but I do think that in a deficit, you can't do it as much. You just simply can't because you won't see the results. Like either the actual calories are higher or the food is just in all the oil and salt and sodium that your body is just going to be like, you know, bloated and water weight. And it's just like you can't do it as much, I don't think. Unless you want it to be like much slower, you can. I've actually done it in the past where like you still do all the normal eating out, but it'll be a very slower progress. So I would say limit it to like 1, 2, 3 times a week. Now you don't have to, but that is what I would do for the best results, honestly. And that is something that I'm coming to terms with myself because I love to do it, like I said, but I do feel better. I look better. I'm seeing progress faster when I don't. But I still do it like 2 times a week, 3 times a week. And there's a lot of advice I could give here. I think that sometimes if it's an amazing dinner, like you're going to a steak dinner for an anniversary or a special occasion, I honestly think just don't care about anything. Don't care about the calories. Don't care about whatever. Just go enjoy. Of course, do not eat past like crazy full. Like you don't want to be Thanksgiving full. But if it's a special event, I say, this is not the time to worry about your weight loss because that goal will always be there. This is one meal and it's not going to change anything drastically. But if it's a little event or it's just like a normal Saturday night and you're grabbing dinner somewhere or something crazy where it's not super special, it's just a little bit more normal, I do recommend trying to make it fit into your calories. Now, I am not a person who is going to like every single time I'm at a restaurant be like, for the chicken sandwich, the bun is this many calories and the chicken is this many calories and the fries are this many calories, but I make healthy choices. I try not to eat past full, and sometimes I will like kind of save up calories earlier in the day to leave room for a big meal. I honestly find tracking calories to be sometimes very helpful with eating at events or restaurants or things like that, because if I go into a little event like a book club or a little party, a little gathering, whatever, and I know I only have 500 calories left, then I know that I can only eat that amount of food, or I can eat past my deficit and not hit my goals. So I'm going into there knowing and acknowledging to myself that if I eat a lot, if I overeat, if I snack on the chips and the cookies and the whatever, you are saying to yourself, okay, I'm not hitting my goals today. And the flip side, I say to myself, you are going to hit your goals today because you want to hit your goals. You want to wake up feeling great. You want to wake up seeing a low number. You want to wake up seeing just not a super high number. Like you want to hit your goals today. You can tell yourself that or you can not tell yourself that. And then it's a little bit of willpower. And I do find that to be very helpful. Like last night I went to book club and I knew I only had 430 calories left, and there was pizza and chicken fingers and mozzarella sticks and salad. And I definitely ate more than 400 calories, but I needed to eat dinner and I didn't know the exact measurements and whatever. So I had 2 slices of pizza, 1 chicken finger and a salad. And I felt great, but I said, you can't eat anything else, you know, because the chocolate covered pretzels are not going to fit. The cookie is not going to fit. Another slice of pizza is not going to fit. And it's hard in those situations because the food is there and you're sitting there for 3-4 hours. You're talking, other people are snacking, and it's hard, but you just have to say to yourself, do I want to overeat and not hit my goals? Or do I want to stop eating now? I ate dinner, I'm satisfied, and I'll stay on track. So that is kind of a little bit of a mindset helper. I don't know, things like that kind of help me. You just have to kind of like check in with yourself every time you're going to a thing. Do I want to hit my goals today or do I not? Sometimes I think it's okay to not want to. Like if you're like, no, you know what, screw it. I had a really tough week. I'm acknowledging that I'm going to overeat a little bit today. That's okay. But I think it's bad when you tell yourself, oh no, it was fine. It all fit in. You know what I mean? Because if you do that continually, you'll think you're in a deficit while you're not. And then my last tip on this one, I feel like I could go on, but I'm trying to kind of like make things not all about food. I feel like a lot of times in the world, like every social gathering is about food, but it doesn't always have to be. And just because you're going somewhere where there's food doesn't mean you need to eat the food. Like you could eat beforehand, or you could just, yeah, you don't always have to eat the food if it's there. And then, like I feel like in the past, if I was going to a restaurant or if I was going to a book club or if I was going to a gathering, I would say, okay, well, today is going to be a bad day of eating. But just because you're going to a restaurant or you're going to an event while you're out of your routine does not mean it has to be a bad day. Like a gathering where there's food does not automatically mean the day is a wash. You can choose if it is or not. And in a deficit, I would recommend choosing for it not to be and sticking to your goals and using the tools and tips and things that I just said. Okay, and then the last question is, are you working with a coach or are you doing it yourself? I'm doing it myself. I feel like I have a good bit of knowledge in like the health, fitness, everything realm. I'm no sort of professional. Like I do not have any, what's the word? Not degrees. I don't know. You know what I mean? Nothing. But I do feel like I know a good bit and I know what I'm doing and I think what I'm doing is working. So yeah, it's just me trying to figure it out. And I do find a lot of help online, like on TikTok, on Instagram. I feel like there's a lot of good resources out there. Okay, I think that's all the questions for now. I think I'm actually going to hop on the walking pad next and get some editing on my phone done. Okay, I was on the walking pad for I think like 40 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. And I'm at like 16,000-ish steps. I have one more planned activity that I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna walk to a little store and grab some Alani energy drinks because I ran out. So that should get me a few more steps. And I think it's lunchtime now. I think it's like a good time to eat. I'm not starving. I'm definitely hungry. It's been 4 hours since breakfast. I try to go like 4 to 5 hours between meals. I find that to be a good spacing. And also it's Friday today. I don't know if I've mentioned that. And usually my eating on Friday is very out of whack because my boyfriend comes in and he comes in later and like I'm just like up longer on Fridays, but I also start early and then we usually have like a late dinner. So I'm usually starving by dinner. Fridays are just usually a little bit weird, but he's not coming in today. So it's probably just gonna be like a normal day of eating for me. Like I don't think I'm ordering out anything. I'm not eating out anything. I'm just gonna be like regular weekday eating, but I did kind of want to make it a little bit fun. So I was either gonna have this for dessert or right now, and I was like kind of wanting it for dessert, but I think it just makes sense to make this now. I'm gonna make a yogurt bowl, like a fun yogurt bowl, rather than like eat my dinner meal soon, because my dinner meal I'll just have like later at like 6 or 7, maybe 7, whatever. We don't need to know all this, but I'm gonna go make lunch. I'm planning on making like a pretty fun yogurt bowl. I think it'll be really good. You guys, oh my God, look how good this looks. So I did 1.5 servings of Greek yogurt. I did an apple, some PB2, some skinny dipped almonds, a chocolate rice cake. I did sugar-free syrup, I did salt, I did cinnamon, vanilla extract, maple extract. It looks phenomenal. 34 grams of protein, tons of fiber. I'll put all the information on here. But like, yum. And it's like the size of my head, literally the size of my head. I love a high volume meal like this. I don't know for a fact, but it should keep me full. It has healthy fats, healthy fiber, protein. It's so big. Okay. I'm doing my first taste test on TikTok, so I can't do it here, but I'll report back. Phenomenal, no complaints. Okay, here is dinner. It's the same meal I've been having on repeat all week. We have roasted Japanese sweet potato, some zucchini noodles, ground beef, cottage cheese on a bed of arugula, and I top it all with Japanese barbecue sauce, and it's so good. It might sound like a weird combo, but it's incredible. I'm pairing it with a watermelon poppy today. I really like this poppy flavor better than root beer. I'm not like a super poppy girl, like I don't have it all the time, but this is really good, so I might have to try more of their like fruity flavors. This is 457 calories, 57 grams of carbs, 6.5 grams of fat, 41 grams of protein, and 7 grams of fiber. I'm so excited to eat it. And you know I'm going to be eating dinner in bed. It's my guilty pleasure. Okay guys, my dinner is done. I'm just going to sip on my poppy now. The only thing I have between lunch and dinner is that ginger tea that I showed you guys making. I put some cinnamon and lemon juice in it. And I'll tell you guys my total steps. I think I'm at like 19,500. 19,538. So I got like 16,000 when I hopped off the walking pad, and then another, whatever, 2 to 3,000 doing my little errand and then just walking around the house and stuff. So 19,000 is a great end to the day. Like I said, I shoot for like 15 to 20,000. So dinner was the last thing I'm gonna eat today. I wanted to talk a little bit about a thing I'm trying out, which is focusing on pretty much getting almost all my calories in 3 well-balanced, nourishing meals, spacing those out throughout my day, and then that's that. I do also include a pre-workout snack on the days that I work out. So if you don't need a pre-workout snack, you could put that little snack somewhere else in your day, like to get you through the afternoon or whatever. But this has been really working for me. A little pre-workout something, and then 3 solid meals. I find that the solid meals, when I eat a big meal, I aim for like 400 to 500 calories. It just keeps me like satiated throughout the day. I have less food noise. I find that they keep me full for hours, and it's been working really well for me. Of course, I'm gonna do it for a little longer, but yeah, whole, real food, nutrient dense meals have been amazing. I've been loving it so much. I also feel like throughout this process, I'm kind of conditioning myself to just do that. Like eat 3 meals a day, eat 3 well-balanced meals a day, and then that's that. No snacking, nothing unnecessary, like no nibbling here and there, no nightly treat. Of course, you can work in a nightly treat if you want, but it's been working for me to not work in a nightly treat. I feel like a nightly treat is something that I will incorporate again once I'm out of the deficit, but I honestly do like to keep my last meal, like a decent bit before I go to sleep so I don't fall asleep heavy. I wake up feeling light. I don't know, it's been really working for me, and like I said, I feel like it's gonna condition me to just be like a very 3 meals a day kind of person. And I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like if I get into the habit of eating 3 well-balanced meals a day, I can just take that with me at all times. Like if I go on vacation, try to do 3 well-balanced meals as best as I can. If there's a day where I'm eating out, like tomorrow I'm going to this like ping pong bar where it's mostly like not fast food, but like bar food. Like I looked at the menu, there's no salads, there's no like dishes that like salmon is the main protein or chicken is the protein. It's just like handhelds and like appetizers and stuff. But there is a grilled chicken sandwich on the menu, so in my head, I'm just like, okay, I'll eat my breakfast, I'll eat my lunch tomorrow, and then I'll get the grilled chicken sandwich for dinner. And will it fit perfectly into my calories? I don't know. But like a grilled chicken sandwich, it's not that bad. It's gonna have protein, it's gonna have carbs, it's gonna have fats. Maybe I won't eat the fries. Maybe I'll take off the bun and eat the fries instead, something like that. But I feel like the 3-meal approach could simplify everything for me. Instead of like, oh, this snack here and that snack there and blah, 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 blah. 3 meals, you know? And I also feel like if I establish like a certain calorie range, my body will get used to that. And then if I get used to that personally, like I won't ever go out or I'll try to never go out, never say never, but I will most often not go out to a big dinner and eat like 1,000+ calorie meal, because that is very hard on your body. It's hard to digest. That's when you personally, that's when I end up getting a stomach ache. So I've just been like toying around with this. I feel like I could be onto something. But yep, that was my final meal, sipping on my poppy. And I'll probably see you guys again if I do a sleepy time tea. But my eats and drinks and movement of the day is definitely winding down. Okay, I guess it's about an hour later. It's 9 o'clock. I have my sleepy time tea. This is actually, it's actually not sleepy time. It's the well-rested tea from Trader Joe's. I'm gonna let this cool down a little bit before I sip it. But I have that every single night. It really helps me relax. And I honestly don't know how much of an effect it has on making me sleep, but I do think it's my ritual and puts me in the, my body knows it's sleep time. I'm also gonna take my sleep gummies. Not to be crazy, but these are 20 calories, so I add them in my supplement count for the day. Okay, let's go over my totals for the day. So I had 1,691 calories, which is pretty much exactly on my mark, 120 grams of protein, 212 grams of carbohydrates, 41 grams of fiber. I love to see that. That is a very good number. And 45 grams of fat. Everything is honestly pretty good where I want it. I'm feeling good right now. I'm not feeling hungry. I'm feeling fully satisfied. And ready to go to bed. I never want to go to bed hungry, and I'm not doing that tonight. So that is good. I had a great day of eats. All of my meals were delicious. And yeah, that was a day in my life. Eats, movement, FAQ, in this weight loss, fat loss phase of my life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, let me know if you liked this video. I can make more similar content. But either way, I hope I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.